Hey guys, Mapletail here. Today is my reaction to and review of Volume 3 of the Prophecies Begin graphic novel, so spoiler warning for the entire book. And we're drawing Ravenpaw and Barley. And I'll also be taking a look at this Oc-tober prompt list by Drawing Raven on Instagram, with my OC, Esen. Let's get into it. I am so incredibly excited about this book. This adaptation has been such a joy to read so far, and I hope it sticks to the landing with the ending of this arc. It also includes one of my favorite stories in Warriors, A Dangerous Path, so I've been extra looking forward to this one. I don't remember exactly what we've already had a look at with the previews, so we're just going to take it from the top. We start off with a prologue with Tigerstar, going to meet Scourge. It's a tense scene, and Scourge's design is awesome. He's so small and so scary. I can't wait to see more of him. The art of this adaptation continues to impress. I know I say it every time, but these books are seriously beautiful. Part 1, Tracks of Fear. Great title for what is to come. ThunderClan is still recovering from the fire. Prey is scarce from it, but more worryingly, Bluestar continues her fall from grace. It's putting a lot of pressure on Fireheart as deputy. On the way to the gathering, Cinderpelt has a warning for him. A dream of something crashing through the woods. Voices yelling, pack, pack, kill, kill. Fireheart has too much to deal with to pay it much mind at the moment. Little does he know, things are about to get much worse for him. But before that, he gets to see little Gorsepaw. This page is adorably heartbreaking, knowing what's going to happen to this little guy. But I was still so pleased to see him. I was far less pleased when Tigerstar arrives. It only furthers Bluestar's distrust in StarClan, which, yeah, understandable. Sadly, we also learn that Crooked Star, as well as Greypool, have passed, making Leopardstar leader. I was curious what was going to become of Greypool after she didn't die in the last book, as she did in the novel. Unfortunate that they made it an off-the-page moment, but I understand that we have a lot to get to. Still makes me wish this adaptation was a full 6 books though. The gathering goes all types of poorly. Tigerstar isn't dealt with, Bluestar accuses WindClan of stealing prey, and Leopardstar implies that she wants to take Sunning Rocks. Back in ThunderClan, Fireheart shares the news of Tigerstar with the cats who missed the gathering. The beginnings of troubles within ThunderClan start to show too. Many of the apprentices are due for their warrior assessments that Bluestar has been neglecting. Little Bramblekit and Tawnykit are unaware of their father and his treachery, and Bluestar continues to lose faith in everyone around her that isn't Fireheart, and wants to attack WindClan for their supposed prey stealing. Oh boy. We do get a really cute scene of Brindleface comforting Fireheart though, and reminding him to rest, which gives him the idea to try to speak with Spotted Leaf. I am obsessed with this little loaf scene here. So cute. Her and Yellowfang both visit his dreams, showing him a place where battle will not be fought, blood will not be shed. It is gorgeous. I love how they draw all the StarClan bits. Fireheart comes up with a plan. Ravenpaw visits the camp that night, with a message from WindClan. It's clear that Fireheart set this up from the pair's winks at each other. ThunderClan and WindClan meet at Fortrees. Battle is avoided, but the cost is high, as Bluestar turns on Fireheart, losing faith in the last cat she trusted. The next morning, Ravenpaw leaves the barn, dropping the amazing news that he and Barley are mates. I'm never gonna get over that. Thrilled for these two. More trouble. Bluestar leads a patrol. Cloudpaw and Swiftpaw, along with their mentors, join in hopes of being made warriors. They go to Sunning Rocks only to find it crawling with Riverclan warriors, Greystripe among them. Leopardstar's reasoning of ThunderClan owing them is wild after all that ThunderClan had done for them in the past book. Battle breaks out, and it is so well drawn as usual. Bluestar is cornered by Stonefur and Mistyfoot, and my heart breaks to see the look on her kit's face as they threaten her. Fireheart steps in and tells them of their true parentage, and it is soul-crushing for Bluestar, and myself, as the two completely reject her. The fight is won, and Greystripe is banished from Riverclan for defending Fireheart against Leopardstar. Bluestar lets him return home, not caring either way, but you can see her perk up at Cloudpaw's words of how StarClan had no paw in that battle, that ThunderClan won by their own strength. In return, he is the only apprentice to be made a warrior that night, sealing the fate of Swiftpaw and Brightpaw. Sandstorm and Fireheart hunt, and talk about who should mentor Tawnykit and Bramblekit. And it's clear that Sandstorm wants one, and deserves one. But you can see that Fireheart wants to protect her from anything that could come from mentoring Tigerstar's kits. I disagree with whatever logic he's using there, but I can understand the worry. Devastating news next. Dustpelt brings Fernpaw to tell Fireheart that Brightpaw and Swiftpaw went to Snake Rocks last night to seek out whatever was actually killing the prey, and they never came home. Oh no, I am not ready. This is gonna be horrifying, isn't it? They get help and go to Snake Rocks. A bloodied scene awaits them. It's far too late for Swiftpaw, but Brightpaw is still alive. The fur from half her face is torn away, and she repeats the ominous warning from Cinderpelt. Pack, pack, kill, kill. They get her back to camp, and into Cinderpelt's care. The medicine cat can't save her eye or ear, and isn't sure she'll survive at all, so Bluestar gives her a warrior name to take to StarClan. But it's far from a kindness, as she chooses the name Lostface. Townykit and Bramblekit also receive new names, as they are apprenticed to Brackenfur and Fireheart. Poor Sandstorm. Lostface starts to recover, but she can't remember what attacked her. More problems as Longtail reports that he scented Tigerstar at Snake Rocks, and neglected to report it until now. Now that he's found something that Fireheart needs to see. Fireheart apologizes to Sandstorm, and she comes along to help. We then get our first proper look at the dogs. You can see why the apprentices didn't stand a chance against them. Terrifying. And worse yet, it seems Tigerstar has laid a trail of rabbits from their den to ThunderClan's camp. The trail ends where it always does. Brindleface's bloodied body. Truly awful. But Fireheart thinks quickly, making a plan to avoid any more death at the claws of the dogs. We get a glimpse of the old Bluestar, as Fireheart inspires her to lead her clan to safety. I loved seeing the mapping out of the plan, each cat taking a different section to run the dogs out of the territory, and into the treacherous gorge. Very cool way to show it. It goes almost perfectly, until it's Fireheart's turn, and Tigerstar interferes, almost getting him killed in brutal fashion. But Bluestar to the rescue. She saves Fireheart's life, falling into the gorge with the dogs, being saved by her long-lost children. She gets to say goodbye to them, begging forgiveness for sending them to Riverclan. They show her a great kindness and choose to forgive her in the end. Unfortunately, Tigerstar witnesses the whole thing, spelling certain doom for Stonefur by the end of the book. With Bluestar's last words, she speaks of having her faith restored in her clan, in StarClan. She tells Fireheart of the "Fire alone will save our clan" prophecy, and that he will become Firestar, the flame of ThunderClan. It's a beautiful moment, but I will miss her so much. Forever my favorite character. Part 2. Firestar. It starts with Tigerstar speaking with Darkstripe, an ominous backup plan being mentioned after the failure of the dogs. We see Lostface determined to become a warrior, wanting to fight for ThunderClan, and Swiftpaw's memory, Cloudtail fully in support of her. And we see Bluestar's vigil. The clan learns of her kits, and barring Darkstripe, everyone is happy that Fireheart would become the next leader of ThunderClan. So he and Cinderpelt head to the Moonstone. They run into a WindClan patrol, and we get to see little Gorsepaw again, who clearly looks up to Fireheart. It's so sweet and soon to be so sad. It was also so sweet when Fireheart offered to cross the Thunderpath with Cinderpelt. Nice to see them remember her trauma there. He receives his 9 lives from what I assume are the same cats as the novels. They aren't named, so aside from the super recognizable ones, it's a little hard to tell. The ceremony is interrupted by a horrifying vision of a cat atop a hill of bones. A warning in the form of prophecy. 4 will become 2. Lion and Tiger will meet in battle, and blood will rule the forest. Back at camp, Whitestorm is made deputy. Thornpaw becomes Thornclaw, and Lostface becomes Brightheart. Lovely. We get to see a little of Firestar training Bramblepaw, and tells him a bit more about his father and his crimes. I thought it was a bit odd to skip over Tawnypelt learning this too. Next, Cloudtail takes Brightheart to meet his mother. I felt like Princess's reaction was a bit better done in this version, and it was cool to get to see a first look at Brightheart's scars. They look okay. I'm always looking for the art of this series to depict more visible scarring on her, especially when she first gets her herbs off here. But I don't think it was terribly done. It's cool to get to visually see the whole process of her healing at least. I noticed a change in the next scene that bothered me a bit more though. Darkstripe attempts to poison Sorrelkit with deathberries, but it's Cloudtail who stops him instead of Greystripe. I think both make sense, so I'm a little torn. This was supposed to be Greystripe's moment to win back the clan's trust, but having it be Cloudtail works with the foreshadowing of him almost eating deathberries as a kit. Feels like there's always some kind of trouble going on. We get a glimpse of Tawnypelt being mistreated by the elders, and Greystripe has run off to Riverclan to make sure his kits are well. Big trouble. Greystripe barely makes it out of Riverclan, with Mistyfoot and his kits in tow. Mistyfoot tells Fireheart what's been going on in Riverclan. Or rather, TigerClan, as Tigerstar and Leopardstar have merged their clans into one. Feels a bit like this is coming out of nowhere. I was worried we were going to skip over Stonefur's murder, but thankfully we got to see it in a flashback. Okay, thankfully is the wrong word, but you know what I mean. It's an important moment that I didn't want to happen off page. It is cool that in this book we get to see other POVs. It doesn't happen very often in the novels, of the first arc at least. Just in the prologues usually. Like, it was nice to get this little scene of Tawnypaw and Bramblepaw talking about how they feel about their father, and their mistreatment from other cats due solely to their parentage. And then Sorrelkit wakes up, revealing Darkstripe's treachery and getting him exiled. About time. I was happy to see a little of Mistyfoot before the gathering, where Tawnypelt has decided to join Tigerstar in ShadowClan. It's a tough pill to swallow, with all he's done, but it comes down to ThunderClan viewing her as nothing more than Tigerstar's kit. At least in ShadowClan, she can just be herself. Tigerstar tries to get all of ThunderClan and WindClan to join him too, but they obviously refuse. Enter BloodClan, and Firestar's big reveal, finally telling the clans about all of Tigerstar's horrible crimes. It's wild that it takes this long, but accurate to the books. I was really not expecting the next event to happen already though. Scourge turns on Tigerstar. In a truly gruesome set of panels, all 9 of Tigerstar's lives are ripped away from him. Part 2 ends with Tigerstar's death, and Scourge is promised to return to take over the forest in 3 days. Part 3, The Darkest Hour. Husbands. Ravenpaw and Barley come to ThunderClan with information. We learn of Barley's story, his BloodClan origins, and BloodClan's weakness. Cats only out for themselves are no match for those who fight side by side. Ravenpaw and Barley want to join in the coming battle, but Whitestorm is justifiably worried. The cost will be high, but with a vision of a lion in Firestar's reflection, he knows how to save the forest. The clans must work as one. WindClan agrees easily, as does Riverclan once Mistyfoot shows herself, and Blackstep speaks for ShadowClan. I think this is the first instance of a cat's name being changed in the adaptation, which was interesting. I must have missed it earlier in the book due to speedy reading, if it was mentioned before. But he agrees to fight too. Bramblepaw speaks with Tawnypaw, but she stands by her choice, wanting to be judged for only her own actions. Fair enough. Mistyfoot also returns to Riverclan. I miss her already. With the battle coming tomorrow, Firestar and Sandstorm take the time to confess their love for each other. It was really sweet. I adore these two. And so cool to see all the clans coming together to take on BloodClan. I loved their little banners of a starry lion and bloodied skull. Battle breaks out, and Gorsepaw is killed here? He was supposed to be killed by Tigerstar as a personal attack on Firestar. I don't think I'm such a fan of this change. It hits a little less hard. It was cool to see Longtail, Greystripe, and Firestar destroy Darkstripe, though. Very funny to see our resident kitty pet hater in a BloodClan collar. Whitestorm's death was as devastating as I was expecting, though. Greystripe is made deputy on the spot, Firestar following his heart. And the Firestar versus Scourge fight was epic. The loss of his first life, his revival, and his takedown of Scourge were all incredible to see. We get a nice little wrap-up after that. Everyone finding their place, a time to grieve and heal, peace returning to the forest. Thanks for watching. This book was pretty amazing. Aside from a couple disappointing changes and the usual fast pace of squishing 2 novels into 1 graphic novel, everything else was great. The art, the characters, the story, just so well done. A great read that makes me really excited to see the next artist take on the new prophecy. I'll be taking a look at the preview for that sometime next month. Let me know what you thought of this book if you've given it a read. And I'll see you next Thursday.